competition for United States today is ominous, to say the least.
There are millions of really bright, hard-working, competitive people in China and in India, and that's who we're competing with.
Around the world, the educational level of the young people and the workforce has really been changing significantly.
You've heard it said that if you speak 3 languages, you're multilingual. If you speak 2 languages, you're bilingual. If you speak 1 language, you're an American.
There's billions of people in the world, and even if just a few percentage of those are competitive, that's still more than is in America. So what I worry is that our children will become complacent and not go out and do the hard road of getting an education and keeping up that knowledge that gets us the high-paying jobs.
We've always said that we're concerned that Arkansas is 49th or 50th. Imagine that you stacked up national economies and international businesses and international capacities for ranking. You want to drop off the chart, 49th will be high on that list.
We're in a new economy now in which competition's all about what you've got from your shoulders up, not what you have from your shoulders down.
Things are changing so rapidly in this nation and in the world that Arkansas has to prioritize. We must prioritize education.
It is so very important that we prepare our children for the 21st century.
The distance is great, and we've got to run faster just to catch up with the competition.
Good evening. I'm Ann Jansen. And tonight we have a very special program you'll want to watch, especially if you have children. We will highlight the knowledge-based, high-technology jobs we need to expand in our state, and what we, as parents, can do to position our children to compete for those jobs. And perhaps most importantly, we'll show you that we, as Arkansans, can educate ourselves into a better position economically. That's the challenge. But tonight we'll also celebrate the incredible efforts at work right now in the natural state. This program is about hope and the good news about learning and economic development, which will take us all to Arkansas's brighter future. Our goal is to broaden the discussion from our classrooms into our living rooms all across Arkansas. The greatest economic developers are the parents and teachers of our children. And if we can all agree on that one important point, our state can realize the potential we all know is within us. The Arkansas Department of Economic Development has donated the commercial content of tonight's program to the institutions of higher learning in Arkansas.
University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff graduates shaped the world. From Wiley Austin Bratton, defender of the Little Rock Nine, to Dr. Samuel Lee Kuntz, a pioneer in kidney transplantation. Their UAPB education set them in motion to influence our culture and our lives. Today's graduates enjoy the same opportunity for greatness, feeding the world through applied aquaculture, advancing technology, and engaging their entrepreneurial spirit. UAPB prepares its graduates to seek and fulfill their greatest potential.
And that benefits us all.
I want to make a difference through medicine.
I want the knowledge to heal people.
The lifelong lessons I learned at ASU prepared me to make a difference in the lives of others.
A university education should empower you to achieve your dreams.
My dream is to own my own marketing company.
I want to be a network news anchor.
ASU empowered me with the skills I needed to accomplish my dreams.
The Berry family from Little Rock is a great example of a family who's faced with the possibility of their kids leaving the state. They have bright, hardworking children who may or may not be able to stay near home.
My children have access to a whole lot more different things than I did. In fact, they have less time on their hands to goof off like I did when I was their age.
Both my kids work really hard at school, and I'm very thankful about that. They do their homework without being told, and they strive to do really well.
Some fun things at school that I like to do are algebra and science.
When Jackson and Rebecca were walking the halls of Pulaski Heights Elementary, they walked in each morning with enthusiasm. They were excited, they were motivated, and you can always tell those children who are motivated by their parents. They bring that enthusiasm to the classroom.
They play hard, fairly hard too. Jackson likes to play on the computer way too much.
Yeah, he plays on the computer all the time.
I do spend a lot of time on the computer. I used to play a lot of games, but now I'm doing other stuff with software. But I'm still spending a lot of time on the computer.
They have received a wonderful education in the Little Rock public school systems and our neighborhood schools, and they have challenges in the future, I know, and trying to meet those. There will be hopefully opportunities for them to be educated in Arkansas and live in Arkansas after they get through.
On the school level, we have high expectations for every child, but parents should also have set some high expectations for their children, making them committed to making sure the homework is done, reading the weekly newsletters, asking questions. I think it's so very important for parents to ask, what did you learn in school today?
We challenge them in ways that complement their education in the classroom. We challenge them with music and arts and other interests that they might not be able to get in the school.
They do a lot of things, but school is most important to them, and Craig and I are both very thankful for that.
I'm sure I'm going to college because, well, I need an education and I want to get a job when I grow up, and so I can have money to live a good life.
The fact that our children knew that we studied hard, went to college, got degrees, I think it means a lot to them, and they realize that they want to have a decent job when they grow up.
I might want to do something with animals, or I might want to be an engineer. I'm not quite sure, though.
Something that has to do with either computers, philosophy, or aviation.
You know, when you're talking to a young person who has the opportunity to go to school anywhere in this country because of their grades, because of their grade point, because of their test scores, those are the kids that in the past, unfortunately, we lost way too many of.
I've looked at Columbia University in New York. I've looked at Stanford and Florida Institute of Technology.
If we don't have those young people learning those types of disciplines within our state, if they have to go outside our state to find that, or to find the type of school that they're looking for, they're more likely to remain there after their school ends for their career, which means we've lost that talent forever.
I will not be surprised if both of my kids go out of state for college. They may stay in state, but if they do go out of state, I would love to know that they might come back to the state. I would really, really like that. And I don't know where they're destined to be after that. I don't know exactly what their careers will be, but I would be very sad if they were elsewhere. And it might happen, but I would like to know that they could come back to Arkansas and have fulfilling careers.
On many days, you can look to the skies above central Arkansas to see our #1 export finding its way to market. Aircraft and related parts are the most lucrative products sold from Arkansas. And there's good news to report. The two largest operations, Dassault Falcon and Raytheon, have combined new orders totaling $1.5 billion. It's here in Arkansas those aircraft are finished out with handcrafted interiors and custom-ordered avionics. There is a reason both companies have recently announced expansions.
I'm proud to say that I believe that we're the best in the world at this, and we strive high quality in everything that we do, from the design down to the last nut and bolt that's put into the airplane. It is what sells our airplane. It is what the customer sees when he arrives to pick up the airplane. The first thing that he sees is the quality that is put into the airplane here in the Little Rock facility.
I mean, the quality is one of our main challenges here, and we are very focused on the fact that we deliver aircraft with no what we call squawk. I mean, no differences between what the customer is waiting for and what we deliver to him. We have people here doing everything. We have people working on the floor. We have engineers. We have technicians. We have people in avionics. We have people in electronics.
We have a lot of excellent jobs here in Dassault Falcon Jet. They range from very high-tech computer skills such as KTHV-5 design work. We have computer-aided machining going on in our machine shop, down to the craftsman level jobs of building cabinets, upholstering seats. We have a lot of airplane-related activities such as mechanics, pilots, and avionics technicians. So we run the full gamut from very high-tech to very hands-on.
What we do is we bring engineers together to make their designs, and we make an airplane in a computer before we actually physically make the airplane. If you could picture the old engineering world, drafting boards everywhere, people leaning over big pieces of paper, mylar, making drawings. Today, very, very sophisticated tools, very visionary tools. Tomorrow, this technology moves forward. We're looking at virtual reality, 3D glasses, visualizations. That's how this technology is moving, and it's moving very, very rapidly.
We're finding it very difficult to find people in Arkansas that have even the rudimentary skills that we're looking for here.
This is unfortunately a challenge for us as a state. It's a challenge for us as an industry. It's a challenge for the schools. So we have to motivate young people to look at the sciences and become engineers.
We have set up some of our own training classes at some of the local institutions in order to try to find some people locally that have the skills that we need. And in most cases, we've hired every one of them.
Today, unfortunately, I have to compete internationally. I would much prefer to get engineers from Arkansas.
Anytime I talk with an American citizen, not in Arkansas, in different place, they are very surprised. What do you do there? They tell me, because they are surprised that someone is coming from abroad to work in Arkansas.
I am an Arkansan by choice. I've lived in this state longer than anywhere else. I came here from England, where we did airplane designs, but I came here because this is where the future is. You look at Dassault Falcon Jet and you can see the growth of the company. We have grown incredibly over the last 20 years that I've certainly been involved with this company. And the vision I have is that this industry will continue to grow.
Up next, we'll see how the cyber world is no longer a realm of the future. Later on, you'll be surprised at what's taking root in the Delta. Arkansas's brighter future continues.
I am not an actor. I teach public health at UAMS, where the students of today offer hope for tomorrow. If I succeed, my students will have the knowledge and skills needed to make Arkansas a healthier place. I've always wanted to change the world. My life's work will be realized by what my students accomplish. I am making Arkansas a healthier state.
What sets one college apart from another? It's a feeling of community.
I really like how small the campus is. Like with my teachers, I feel like they're my friends.
It's knowing you're more than a number on an ID card.
I came here from a bigger university. I was looking for smaller classes and a more personal environment, and I found that at UAM.
It's a place where your professors know you by name and want you to succeed.
I like UAM because it's a family environment. The professors really get to know you on a one-on-one basis.
Pursuing excellence one student at a time. We are the University of Arkansas at Monticello.
Technology is now a regular part of the classroom. And fortunately, Arkansas has programs exposing students to the tools which are critical to our state's intellectual and economic growth. Access starts early with the EAST program in schools across the state. And these students can be wonderfully prepared to enter the Cyber College at the University of Arkansas, Little Rock.
E stands for Environmental and Spatial Technology. It was named by a group of students about 11 years ago in a small school in north central Arkansas. One very gifted educator here in the state began to work with them on taking on sophisticated projects. Very soon it was decided and it was encouraged to put those kids in a place where they could use very sophisticated tools. Now East is in a little over 150 schools in the state. It's 11 years old. Thousands upon thousands of students in Arkansas have gone through the program, and they have taken on incredibly sophisticated projects using not only the tools of today, but many of the cutting-edge tools of tomorrow. My Community Project is one of our great achievements, I suppose, when you talk about different groups of people coming together to do things that are good for kids and good for their communities. What we see from the My Community Project is an opportunity for students to begin to go out and tell the stories of their communities in a way that perhaps would be less appealing to them if we were to ask them to write a 2 or 3 page essay. There's so many complex and interesting things that can happen when you allow children to tell stories. Teamwork, planning, project planning, just wonderful, wonderful learning objectives that run parallel to using cameras, using digital editing tools, using special effects, writing film scores, those sorts of technical tools that can be very helpful to them later. Not having access to sophisticated technology, and from an East perspective, not having access to the opportunities to take on sophisticated self-directed learning is very much like not teaching children math or reading. Sure, you can get a job, but you so greatly limit the potential and the capacity of what you can be if you don't give children access to the world that they are already living in, much less the one that they need to be living in.
The issue in Arkansas is 2 things. One is that we need to get more kids with really good math and science backgrounds in high school. And we need to be sure that we don't fall into complacency about how the 21st century is going to be versus the 20th century. If I could say one word of what we need to do is we need to raise the expectations that we expect children to do. Because if you expect more, most children will respond and do more.
We try to find people that can do any number of things, and that's going to be more indicative of a good general education. But a general education doesn't take place just in college. It starts in the home and it goes to K through 12.
Any student who comes to us that has a reasonable math background, who's had the 4 years of math, and if they can do calculus when they start, they don't have to come with calculus, but if they can start calculus, and if their English is good and they can write reasonably well, we can turn those kids in 4 years into a first-class professional. They will have had interaction with the industry, they will have had interaction with first-class faculty members, and they will turn out to be very competitive people. And we're not the only school in the state doing that. We have the ability to do that in several institutions in this state today.
Arkansas universities and colleges began several years ago in preparing for entry into the knowledge-based economy. Many degree programs have been approved by the Higher Education Board from the PhD level all the way to the associate degree level in areas that are important and part of the knowledge-based economy.
One of the things parents are interested in is what are the job opportunities if my son or daughter goes through these curricula, works hard and does well, what are his job opportunities? And if we can get out there the information about what these jobs mean and what they're apt to have, then you can get the parents. And when we tell them that all of our engineering student graduates last year got offers of $50,000 or more the day they graduated, parents like that.
The job opportunities in content and media development, the job opportunities in geospatial sciences, the job opportunities in digital film, the job opportunities in design and network architecture. These are rapidly growing, high-paying, high-skilled jobs in which you cannot turn out candidates fast enough to fill them.
Opportunities are excellent because we have some knowledge-based companies headquartered here, like Axiom and Alltel and some of the others. And in fact, Walmart is an information-based company, as you know, with respect to how they handle their goods and all that. So we have the advantage of having companies here who really understand what knowledge-based jobs are all about. The handicap is we don't have enough students who really want to do those kinds of jobs to take the professional positions that we need for them to have for us to truly be competitive.
It gives us the opportunity to compete on a worldwide basis. But technology also allows people to tap into Arkansas and the resources of the people that are here to help them build their businesses. So it is a two-way street.
Brains do not stop at the Texas or Missouri border. We have very bright people here, many of them very incentivized to do good things, have good work ethics, and I can prove that by some of the students that we have in the Cyber College. I've got kids who are first-generation college students who are just doing incredible things. We've got 21 of them working on a demonstration project for Alltel on the side, in addition to their coursework. These are truly bright, energetic kids. They're going places. What we need to do is to provide them with the tools to go.
After a break, we'll show you how research at the University of Arkansas is leading to commercial ventures and creating new jobs for our students.
Just outside your door is an opportunity that can change your life. Arkansas Career Pathways can help you increase your income. If you qualify, your local two-year college can prepare you for a new career. You could even get help with childcare and transportation. And college counselors will help guide you down the right path. Go to college, get career training, get help to do it. Visit your local two-year college. Call 1-866-400-PATH or go to arpathways.com.
What makes Henderson a better choice in education? Is it the campus or the buildings? Is it class size or professors with PhDs? Is it the cost, the value? What is it about Henderson?
It's me.
A strong educational foundation from Henderson put Richard Jacobs on the road to becoming a doctor. Today, he's at the forefront of pediatric research and care. Henderson prepares today's students for tomorrow because what counts is what you become. Henderson State University.
The Genesis Technology Incubator and the Innovation Center are part of the Research and Technology Park at the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville. These scientists and researchers work to bridge the gap between ideas and real-world applications. The work being done is nothing short of phenomenal, and the good news is the companies they are creating continue to grow.
We're developing a dynamic environment for innovation to take place, and where we can build a collaborative community of companies working together and in partnership with the University of Arkansas.
My whole decision to come back after being gone 36 years was not really about the University of Arkansas, it was about the state of Arkansas. And having watched what happened in North Carolina, what happened in Georgia, what happened in Virginia and Texas and so many other states, I realized that great states have great universities. And for Arkansas to have a hope, to have a real hope for the 21st century, University of Arkansas had to be a nationally competitive research university.
In Arkansas, the environment for the creation of technology and companies is significantly improving, and I think there are several reasons for that. One is that the research institutions in the state, particularly University of Arkansas and the University of Arkansas Medical Sciences, but others as well, like UALR, have an improving research base. The innovations that are going on in our research institutions are providing the opportunity to spin those technologies out into new startup companies.
In spite of the fact that we live in Arkansas, where some of the greatest entrepreneurs of our time have developed companies like Tyson's and Walmart, we really didn't have a strong entrepreneurial culture here at the University of Arkansas, and we're seeing that begin to develop now. More and more of our faculty are interested in how they can transfer their technology for the benefit of society.
Virtual Incubation Company partners with technologists in the formation of new technology startup companies to commercialize infant but promising technologies.
We were developing some really creative technology over at the university. I was working on my PhD, and we decided there were some real commercial applications to the technology that we were trying to develop. And so we brought that technology into the company, and between 2002 and now, just 3 to 4 years, We've grown from 0 employees to 22 employees. We have about $3 million in annual revenues right now. A lot of people are familiar with power supplies for computer systems at your home laptop or your home desktop or whatever. We developed the same types of things except for very advanced applications. So computer systems on military aircraft or tanks or vehicles, or power supplies for the computer systems on satellites and things of that nature.
Well, the reason that we're in Arkansas is because I'm an Arkansas native. I graduated from high school in Boonville, Arkansas in 1977. And the school had excellent preparation. I had some really good math and physics and basically a good group of teachers. And then I went to Hendrix and I graduated there in '81 in physics.
You know, we really have the cream of the crop coming out of the University of Arkansas. We have some of the best engineers you can find anywhere in the country working in our company. And we really have to have that because it's an extremely competitive environment. We're one of maybe 4 or 5 companies in the world that are developing the types of application systems that we're working on.
All of our employees are from the University of Arkansas, except for 2. We've hired graduate students, and students have worked on graduate projects continuously. And we've hired undergrads. We have several undergrads who are working part-time for us right now. But including me, all but 2 of the 15 are from the University of Arkansas.
Probably $70,000 to $80,000 is our average salary for our employees. We have 22 employees right now, and it's well above the state average. And when you look at it from the different types of job opportunities that are available in the state of Arkansas, one of the things that really helps the state is keeping the knowledge base here. You know, the state puts all this money into the university system and the higher education system, and if you don't have good jobs for the bachelor's or master's or PhD people, you know, they're going to leave the state.
You know, I was a technology export to California. I went to Silicon Valley there, worked for Lockheed, and then a small company in Palo Alto.
You know, this is one way to kind of reap the rewards, I guess. You know, you keep the people here. You know, they bring in extra dollars for taxes for the state, and in the long run, there's a significant amount of money that each one of these employees is going to bring to the state if they stay here. When I first got here, there wasn't a whole lot of emphasis on technology, high technology businesses. And the state of Arkansas, the government, has really started pushing technology development. Without the state help or the state funding that we got in the very beginning, and it wasn't a whole lot of money. It was, you know, we're talking maybe $10,000, $20,000 to begin with the first grant, and the second grant was $50,000. That was the investment from the state, and from there, you know, we've gone into the millions of dollars in revenues annually. It's very safe to say that without that initial funding, this wouldn't have happened.
As a father of 4 children, I'm certainly concerned for my own children's opportunities in the state of Arkansas, and I think there are obstacles, and the primary obstacle right now in terms of students who might be interested in science and engineering type of positions is that there isn't a sufficient base of knowledge-based companies in the state today.
High technology is the future, and if Arkansas is going to be competitive, then it has got to start developing this type of economic base in the state.
By growing companies, we provide more opportunity for graduates of the University of Arkansas or any institution of higher learning in the state of Arkansas to live and work in Arkansas and give back to the state's economy.
That's our goal, is 20, 30 million in revenue and about 40 or 50 employees. But maybe we'll spin something out and do a lot better. We'll see.
If you look out over the next 20 years, if you want Arkansas to really see the benefits of technology, you want to create a group of people that are technology owners, not just technology users. But the way you attract that is through the education system, through flagship universities, through workforce training, but also through tax policy that allows people and motivates people to come here that own and invest and control the capital around technology investments.
The idea of bringing in large technology companies, recruiting them from out of state is less likely to be successful than doing things such as the R&D tax credit to encourage home brewing these companies. And that's because large technology companies aren't going to relocate to a region that doesn't have sufficient technical infrastructure.
I think for too long we've kind of assumed that here in Arkansas it's a primarily rural state, and that because it is primarily rural, we're a poor state. But in today's economy, in the new economy, the currency is knowledge. So we're no longer inhibited in any way. There's no limit to the potential that our state can have, understanding that the new currency is knowledge.
Students at Arkansas State University at Jonesboro are planting seeds to grow the new technology jobs of tomorrow. We'll show you how after a break.
Brandon Atha, freshman, on why he chose Arkansas Tech University.
Arkansas Tech is one of only 2 schools in the state of Arkansas that is accredited for mechanical engineering. I love the campus. Everybody down here is just welcoming me with open arms. Bigger is not necessarily better when you're talking about an education. I chose Tech because I feel like if I get an education here, it'll be worth something.
Learn more about Arkansas Tech and other outstanding students like Brandon at atu.edu.
Now that I'm in law school here at Harvard, I realize how well the Honors College at UCA prepared me to think analytically and to keep learning.
UCA changed my life, helped me become a Rhodes Scholar, and compete at a national level. I am proud to say that I'm a UCA Honors College alum.
The Honors College at UCA, a center of excellence that makes UCA the center of learning.
You might imagine a university in the heart of the Delta would focus on agricultural research, but you might not imagine the human applications the students at Arkansas State University are discovering from the ground up.
The Delta is changing dramatically. There's a significant amount of momentum in the Delta right now in Arkansas. And the Arkansas Biosciences Institute and Arkansas State University is playing a big part in that.
What's happening in this building, the Arkansas Biosciences Institute, is a remarkable opportunity that brings together student and faculty research people who look at plants as factories to produce better living conditions and health-related solutions.
There's actually a number of things going on in the greenhouse. So on the plant side, we have projects that are looking at using plants as factories to make proteins. And one of those is to make proteins that would be involved in making crops much better sources for biofuels. You may be able to use some of your agricultural productivity to create cost-effective vaccines, pharmaceutical proteins, and other applications that kind of merge Arkansas' strength in agriculture with some very high-end markets potentially.
The humble origins that we had as an industrial-based economy have changed dramatically internationally as more and more functions that we've associated with the world of work have changed from these tools to these tools. And we're coming to the point where we have seen an increasing reliance upon knowledge-based activities and knowledge-based industries.
If you look at what employers want in an employee now, I believe that it's really changed. There's all of the information, the quick movement of information that we've talked about. But it's also a situation where no student can go with blinders on in a little teeny area and be successful. Employees want people that can talk across disciplines, talk across completely widely variant areas.
This is by no stretch of the imagination, a world-class research facility. Scanning electron microscopes are all over the place. The students learn how to build them here. Build scanning electron microscopes in this facility. And so they go all the way from soup to nuts in trying to understand what is involved with this process of research.
One of the things that's really exciting about what we're doing here at ASU is that we've created this institute and other areas that are truly cross-disciplinary. We have students who will put heart implants into rats to look at the interface of estrogen and cardiovascular health. So you've actually got undergraduate students that are doing real surgeries.
When I talk about students coming here, it's really a remarkable opportunity for undergraduates, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, to sit side by side with doctoral students and postdoctoral students who are working with a highly sophisticated, very refined research environment.
You have people working in chemistry, people like me working in endocrinology, other people working in neuroscience, so it's very nice to have so many people around doing different things, but during the day we share the same spaces so we can talk about what we are doing.
How do we share the excitement that we have going on in this building with the school kids and get them to sort of see the opportunities? So among the things that we've done is we've initiated an outreach program, and we bring a couple hundred kids, or up to 100 kids a month, through ABI. And they get to go through the different labs, see what's going on, but they also get a real hands-on where they isolate DNA from strawberries, and spool the stuff out. And so it's very tactile, but universally, we get kids excited.
Stimulate that creative thought at an early age in a child's life, and they're going to be interested in science and technology. They're going to be asking these questions, and ultimately that's going to lead to their career paths.
From my point of view, when I was a child, like to say, oh, and get that sort of surprise of discovering things, or be able to play in a scientific way.
When we talk about how do we transition to knowledge-based economy, I think one of the most critical things is to let students see examples, see role models, see mentors.
Young women in junior high school may self-select themselves out of the science, technology, engineering, and math disciplines. They think that they can't cut it in those areas. And we've got proof that they can. The young women who come here to Arkansas State are brought into a system in those disciplines, science, technologies, engineering, mathematics, and they're put on stage with the very best competitors in these areas. And the young women are doing great.
It never occurred to me that I could be a scientist. And when I went and talked to my guidance counselor in high school, she said, "You're pretty smart for a girl. Maybe you could be a biology teacher." And that's what I went off to college to do. Nothing against biology teachers, but the concept that I could actually do cutting-edge research never occurred to me. And it's because I never saw, somebody that I could identify with.
The way you encourage a child to pursue science or technology is to get them interested and expose them to the fields and have them raise a question themselves about, how did this work? Why is this the case? Is this a given? How can we experiment with this? And I think ultimately exposing a child at a younger age in the schools, from maybe middle school all the way up to high school, to what is available and what are the cutting edge things going on in science and technology.
The world around us is going to be based upon intellectual productivity, on the knowledge-based industry, which is a term very easily used. But we really don't understand fully what that means. It means a world of intellectual products, a world of ideas, a world of capacities that can be brought to productivity because of the intellectual pursuit of the people who share that knowledge, not only locally and not only across the state, but with others internationally.
Our children will be able to think and move knowledge in ways that we can just barely imagine. And the power of that, we may not know what it is, but the power of that's going to be awesome. And it also means that you don't have to be in, the MIT research lab in order to contribute. It gives every part of the world the ability to play. So what we need to do is find mechanisms whereby our children in Arkansas are players.
All of our people can compete. Arkansas doesn't need to make any distinctions between black and white, male and female, young and old, Hispanic, Caucasian, African American. The whole bunch of us can be made to be competitive on any world stage if we have the belief, the dedication, and the expectation that over time we will make ourselves competitive with the best of them. We can do that.
After a break, we'll show you how positive thinking and the need to soothe a severe sunburn has led to a new Arkansas company. Arkansas's brighter future continues.
Why Southern Arkansas University?
I always feel like my teachers know me on a first-name basis, and I can go to them and talk to them about any problem that I have.
The scenery is great, the people are great, and the classes are even greater.
What are you looking for in a university?
SAU offers you more than just a college education. You're able to learn about people and learn more about yourself.
I'm somebody now because I've attended SAU.
Why not Southern Arkansas University? A tradition of success.
University of Arkansas faculty and students conduct cutting-edge research in chemical hazards, geographic information systems, and more. This innovative research makes life better for Arkansans through constructing architectural models to build sustainable neighborhoods and through developing computer simulations and digital imagery to create safe roads. With research projects like these, the University of Arkansas is dedicated to improving the quality of life in Arkansas.
At the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences BioVentures in Little Rock, there's no shortage of ideas and the brain power to make these dreams a reality. From tackling the serious problem of drug abuse to easing the pain of a sunburn, physicians and scientists are working to make our lives better and at the same time create new economic opportunities.
We have something that's really precious here in this state. We have a medical school which is turning out both world-class physicians and world-class scientists. And now it's becoming an economic engine in that we're spinning off companies out of the science and the educational things that come out of the Med Center. It's very important for us. Number one, I'm a scientist, and started out being an educator and a researcher at the medical school here in Little Rock. And then as our research developed, it became quite intriguing, and we thought we might have a chance to develop medicines which could have an impact on humans, which could help them. And in particular, we wanted to make medicines that would fight drug abuse.
We have for several years worked toward the development of new medications for the treatment of methamphetamine and phencyclidine or angel dust abuse. We have developed new medications using existing technologies and information that is readily available, but have been able to pioneer some new and novel approaches to the treatment of these two devastating brain diseases. My research partner and I, Dr. Michael Owens, debated for several years how we could best move our medications forward and get them to the people who need them.
So we started a company now, and so I'm both an educator, scientist, and now I'm an entrepreneur.
It is through the business and through the entrepreneurial attitude that we have that we feel like we can best move these medications and get these medications to the people who need them. I know that there are a lot of Native Arkansans who work at UAMS and who have been able to do the kinds of things I do, but I feel very fortunate as an Arkansan to have been able to come back to Arkansas after my training and work here and to hopefully help the people of Arkansas with a devastating problem.
First of all, let me say I'm a Searcy native, got an engineering degree, working here in Arkansas as an engineer, decided I wanted to get an MBA. So I went to UALR's Executive MBA program, and then I heard about a student business plan competition and that Arkansas Capital puts on. Decided to enter that, but I didn't have a business concept, so I visited UAMS to see if they had any technologies for licensing. And that's when I met Dr. Bill Gurley.
Since everybody over at BioVentures had been using my cream, they said, well, maybe you ought to talk to Dr. Gurley about his cream. He said, that's might be right, might be exactly what you're looking for. I basically developed it because of a severe sunburn that I got, and I couldn't find anything to relieve the pain. And I started doing some research, and realized that there was this unique oil that comes out of Australia called Melaleuca oil, also known as tea tree oil. So there were some products on the market at that time that had tea tree oil in them, but the formulations were either really greasy or they were real hard, or they just weren't pharmaceutically elegant, as we like to say.
And he had this skin cream that he'd been giving away for years, Omnibalm.
People just kept constantly coming to me, Bill, I need some more of your cream. They would call it Girly's Goo or Bill's Magic Cream or Miracle Cream, you know, all kinds of names for it. So anyway, I just basically would make it in the lab, you know, kind of on the side, and just giving it away to people.
It was so much fun, and we learned so much about the product and how great it was on a wide variety of skin conditions that I did decide to form the company.
We combined her expertise from the business perspective and then my expertise from pharmacology and drug formulation perspective, and just kind of put it together and came up with the product, changed the name.
I got to use everything that I've learned in order to do this. And then the perfect complement with Dr. Gurley, who had the product concept, because I didn't have that.
It was a good product, and it was just a matter of getting people to use it and understand that it was good. And it's that I've always had to know in my gut feeling that, you know, once we got this stuff on the market, that when people started using it and just realizing how versatile the product was, that it would take off. That's been the case so far.
When I was a kid, I thought I was absolutely average. I wasn't better, I wasn't worse. But one thing I realized, probably about mid-college, I had a lot of motivation. And so I think those kids that are going to get ahead are the ones, of course, that are very bright. But it's not enough to be bright. You got to be motivated to make your dreams come true. And that's a hard thing for children to understand.
I think it's a matter of attitude on the part of the young woman, just to have confidence and realize that you can do anything you want to do. And for some reason, I guess it was maybe instilled in me and my parents or the school there in Searcy, but I really felt like I could. And when I had an interest, I just went for it, and any girl should do that. And there's all the opportunity in the world for a girl, a boy, anyone.
I didn't know what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to be a scientist, but I didn't have the confidence to say, I'm going to do that. But I just kept year after year breaking down those hurdles. I didn't really start with that great at grades, but then I got inspired and said, I can do this.
But I have to say that being able to do what I do today and have this company, if I hadn't followed up on my interest in math and science, it wouldn't have been possible.
Science and technology are growing faster than they ever have. Every day we come up with new findings and new ideas to promote the health and well-being of our people.
It used to be in America that we were really good at mass production. We built Fords and we built a lot of them. But really what America's known for today is for its knowledge, for making the innovations and making the breakthroughs. Other countries, and of course America, but other countries do the mass production now. We're about innovation and about education and setting the path for everyone. And we need to do that here in Arkansas.
Up next, a success story. We'll introduce you to a man from small-town Arkansas who now works in the nerve center of one of the world's largest companies in his home state. The Arkansas Department of Economic Development has donated the commercial content of tonight's program to the institutions of higher learning in Arkansas.
The University of Arkansas Fort Smith is your genuine opportunity. Engineering, health science, business, education. The University of Arkansas Fort Smith is genuine education for your future. Come get it at the University of Arkansas Fort Smith. Genuine education, genuine opportunity.
At UALR, we are educating people to be citizens, preparing them to give more than they take, equipping them to be tomorrow's leaders. No one ever said a good education was easy or inexpensive. It's neither, but it does pay off for you and the world. Choose the difference. Choose UALR. Strong university, excellent education.
All across Arkansas, your two-year colleges provide many opportunities to improve lives and to build our communities. 22 colleges, a brighter future for Arkansas. Learn more about us.
I can't imagine a time when the Delta's future has ever been brighter than it is today. With the manufacturing evolution that's occurring in eastern Arkansas, particularly the manufacturing associated with automobile manufacturing, we, for the first time in generations, have the one missing link in eastern Arkansas's economy, and that's world-class jobs.
We are all focused on working together and doing all the things that are necessary: infrastructure, education, housing, retail, whatever it takes to make the whole picture appealing to an industrial prospect. We have the geography. Our geography is not going to change. The things that we do have some control over and the things that we can impact is the improvement to the infrastructure. And the number one thing that we can improve is education.
Arkansas has always done a pretty good job of educating the top 10 or 15% of our population, but we've never done a very good job of making education relevant to that next portion of our population, that B and C student who at some point either becomes a tax consumer or a tax producer. Having these great jobs in eastern Arkansas now helps us create relevance. It helps our students understand why they need to get an education, and now that for the first time receiving that education can let them stay there in the Delta and have a great job.
Well, we at the Department of Economic Development here in the state of Arkansas are responsible for recruiting businesses to the state. One of the primary things that they always want to talk about is the quality of the workforce that exists in the state, wherever it might be.
Hino choosing to come to eastern Arkansas was the missing link. We have a reason to educate folks to cause them to stay. We have a reason to cause people to move to eastern Arkansas because those great jobs are going to be there. We want to make sure that we have the educational infrastructure in place so that the Hinos of the world find eastern Arkansas to be the absolute best place they could be located in the entire universe.
I think for too long we've underestimated our opportunities and our assets, and I think it's time for us to expect success in eastern Arkansas and throughout the Delta.
There's no secret on what it takes to grow an economy. You can see the areas of our country that are flourishing, the areas of our state that are flourishing, and the primary ingredient of that is a strategic investment in educational programs to support and grow industry. All we have to do is make those same efforts occur in eastern Arkansas, focused on the geography and the infrastructure that exists there that makes us unique, not just in Arkansas, but across this country.
Growing up in Marianna, Keena Foreman didn't know exactly what he wanted to do in life, but there's one thing he did know. To succeed, he needed an education, and that was just the first step on his way to a brilliant career.
I work at Tyson Foods. I'm an information technology coordinator. And basically what we do is we have offices all over the world. And when people have problems with their systems, they call in and they say, you know, it could be anything as little as far as something, I can't turn it on, you know, up to something that's very serious, and we basically find solutions for them. And most people say, well, it's a chicken company. I say, yes, it's a chicken company, but every company you can think of today, they have some kind of, you know, technical department. And the way technology changes, you're always being exposed to the latest technology, so it's a lot of fun. It's kind of a funny story how I got interested in computers. We had an English paper due in my 11th grade year, and of course back then, you know, not everyone had computers as they do today. And we would have to stay after school and pretty much try to type our papers up, and I wasn't the best typer back then. And so about 5 one day, I was trying to get it. It was about 2 days before my paper was due, and I couldn't. They closed the school down, so I'm mad, and I'm upset. And I go home and talk to my mom, and you know, we talk about it. And she said, "Well, you know, what do you think you need?" I said, "Well, Mom, they got computers down there at the school. I need one of those." And you know, she said, "Okay." So the next day, when I come home from school, there was a computer sitting there. Now, my paper was due in one day, but the only problem with having a computer, I didn't know how to work the thing. So I had to pretty much open the manual up to even figure out how to turn it on. And that kind of led into where I'm at now. Opening that book to just figure out how to do a paper got me to this field. It was hard but fun. because I liked learning. And it was just very intriguing to learn about all the new things, how stuff works, in a sense, how life works, or, and in the computer, how the computer works. How does this little thing here make the whole system run smoothly? It's kind of like a lot of small towns, especially in Mariana, you kind of hear a lot about the negative stuff, and being such a small town, that's all you hear about. And so you kind of have to make it up in your mind that this is not everything. There are some positive things that come out of here, and I can be one of the positive influences that comes out of this town. And I'm gonna take it upon myself to go out there and do something.
It would take much more than an hour to chronicle all of the positive educational and economic stories in Arkansas. But perhaps we can agree our economic future is linked to the progress of our children's education. Our hope tonight is to imagine the possibilities within Arkansas. Now is the time to join together in this vital mission.
We must focus and prioritize education as the most important item for the future, the economic future of the state of Arkansas.
Arkansas can be a player in the world competition that's shaping up. But in order to do so, we have to recognize that jobs are going to go where smart people are. They aren't going to go where cheap labor is to be found.
Today we have to compete with many countries, with low-cost country, and all the difference will be made by technology. We have to do some things that people are not able to do outside.
I believe the atmosphere is conducive for my children to come back home. I believe that we should still stay on that trajectory of improving our education and economic development.
The opportunity is there, but every person has to want it. They have to struggle.
We want to raise the income levels. We want to raise the standard of living of the citizens of the state of Arkansas. And a key component, a basic component in order to do that is the education level of the employees or of the citizens of the state.
For the United States of America, that has fallen from number 1 in education to number 14 in education in the world over a 50-year period. For us to get back to number 1, we are going to have leaders that think outside of the box, that are willing to take risks in the educational system, to be aggressive, and to finally have high standards.
You take a person like Dr. Joycelyn Elders, who became Surgeon General. She started college when she was 15 and finished when she was 18. She's from Arkansas. She's like a lot of those students, and you go back at that period of time, very, very, very meager and humble beginnings. But that becomes a role model that when I always tell them that, they're like, wow, she started school when she was 15 and finished in 3 years, and then went to medical school. So they have to be exposed to people who have similar backgrounds, who've done well in those kinds of areas, to say, okay, well, maybe that is an option for me.
There's hope in Arkansas. There's hope as our economy changes before our very eyes. We are competitive.
We're a pretty misunderstood breed when you go outside of our borders. So I do take great satisfaction in being a part of an organization that can represent all the positive things that can take place and that do take place here on a daily basis. There are a lot of great businesses in Arkansas, and that is just a reflection of the people that are here.
If you can set the seed and motivate a few, man, it grows.
People in Arkansas can do it. I'm betting on that because I've got my people in Arkansas. My kids, my grandkids are a part of this as well. So I'm betting on the future in Arkansas, and I'm putting my own stock into that because I think there's going to be a great future here.
Log on to www.1800arkansas.com for more information on the topics you've seen in this program and for links to all of Arkansas's institutions of higher learning.